Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funny. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, John Kolb.
What's up, everybody? Great to be here.
Hey, John, what's going on? I bring in a special guest, Stacy Taylor, Quest Realty. Good morning, Stacy. What's going on?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What a great, you know what? Even though it's a little cloudy, it looks like it might rain. It's definitely windy out there. This weather, this fall has been amazing. And it's, as we always talk about it, it's always home buying season in Michigan. It's not seasonal anymore at all. So, hey, we also got Becky Alley on. Hey, Becky, are we going to plug you in there? Good morning, Becky. You live. Well, hold on, Beck. We'll get you back up here. Anyways, we are going to give you 1 hour here live of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, we take all your calls at 248-539-9797. Stacy Taylor, of course, is going to share tons of information. We got some unbelievable listings that are popping up. We're going to talk about inventory. I always talk about this. Definitely getting confidence in buyers. It's been a weird year, but Stace, we're up against the last 60 days of 2022. There's an unbelievable opportunity out there to purchase a home.
That's my favorite word this year, truly, is opportunity, for buyers. And we haven't had that in a couple of years. And, I just can't say it enough that, especially for that buyer that needs concessions, that maybe they can't play in the realm with appraisal guarantees. Look for those listings that have been sitting 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because those are opportunity. You're going to be able to come in under ask. You're going to get concessions. This is your time.
Right. But you definitely have to make sure you're checking out the house and what's going on and why that house is on the market. I mean, don't get me wrong. 10 days, 2 weeks is not that long of a period of time to be on the market. But if you've got a house that's been on the market for 2-3 months, what's going on? Take a look at the seller's disclosure. Make sure you do your fiduciary responsibility and get an inspection. Yep. I just had one where the foundation is bad, but the people still want to buy it because they think they have 20 years left on the foundation. I'm like, well, that's no good. 20 years. We're putting you in a 30-year mortgage, and you only have 20 years left on the foundation. So we got to make sure that we're advising the right way, because I don't want somebody to get all the way down into the rabbit hole and not be able to close.
Becky, are you on the line? Becky, hopefully we're going to be bringing Becky up. Hey, guys, yeah, there she goes. Hey, Becky, there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How about the word opportunity? The Hardcore Mortgage Show, here we are on this gorgeous Saturday, November 5th, 2022. Opportunity is out there.
I love that word because I'm with Stacy. You have to be obsessed with opportunity in every aspect of your life, especially if you're looking to purchase a home. And what Stacy was mentioning is, there's really a huge chance for some of these buyers that were maybe sidelined over the last couple of years. Yeah, the rates were lower, but you also were going $30,000 over asking. I mean, that wasn't realistic for a lot of people. It wasn't the payments they couldn't handle. It was cash to close that was the issue. So, and the good thing about this market is it's not one thing. And this is definitely a skills-based market. But, Stacy, I'm sure can attest that it's over asking, it's at asking, it's concessions, it's, undervalue, it's over. And, but being able to navigate these things is really what is going to set the buyers up for success, because the more we try to educate, there's so many people out there that really have no idea where to start.
Oh, absolutely. And I just want to jump in. I saw the funniest meme and I made a note to talk about that today. And it said something about buyers are out there acting like it's 2008. Sellers are out there acting like it's still 2021. And it's true. There's such a disconnect. And if houses are priced right, we are still seeing multiple offer and over asking. It's never been more important to have a good realtor and a good mortgage company in your corner, because it's going to make the difference of success or failure.
Right. But I was going to say, buying right now might be the best time to do it. Yes, rates, we always talk about this. Rates are a little bit higher than they have been over the last couple of years, but you're not tied to your rate for the longevity. If it comes back down, we can get you into a cheaper rate. But if you wait and the values continue to rise, you're never going to be able to get into something cheaper, because the values are going up and up and up.
We're seeing that across the nation. Annual price growth remained in double digits. The September numbers came in. CoreLogic Home Price Index is showing it somewhere around 11 to 12%. And especially when you look at September 2021 to September 2022, again, home prices appreciation remains high. And it's one of those crazy markets. It's everything market. I like that. As Becky said, it's everything market. And it really, I don't know if there's been a year that I can really pinpoint that it's been like this. But that's why you need to be able to really move. You look at one house, it meets some of the checks, most of the boxes. The other house doesn't. You got to be able to have that agent really go over the details of what you're looking for. But again, you're going to sign on the dotted line. You're going to be there 3 to 5 years minimum. You better make that right decision.
Absolutely.
But what's cool about it right now, though, is that the buyers can actually go into a house, maybe even go to it 2 times before they make an offer. They're not running in there like, I have to hurry up and make an offer because I want to beat up the next guy, but I don't even know if I really like this house. They're able to really make these educated decisions, which is nice because they don't feel pressured. They're not going to have the buyer's remorse. They're going in there with their eyes open. They know what their payment's going to be. They know what the cash to close is going to be. And they also, like John was mentioning, they also know the bones of the house. And they're willing to, whether I want this or not. Like, is it a good foundation? I don't know, or I do know, and I'm willing to sign on that bottom line. So they're making more informed decisions.
Well, everyone's looking for a deal, whether you're on the mortgage side of things, you're buying a house, the 2-1 buy down, the 1-0 buy down, the arms that are out there. Learn about it. Learn about sellers' concessions and learn about your debt to income ratio so we can take a look at your overall picture. When you're dealing with qualified lenders, again, whoever it might be out there, whether it be the mortgage banker or a broker, whoever you're dealing with, the experience will shine when they start talking about breaking down your credit report. John, that's so important. Breaking down ways you can save money and get yourself into that house. We just talked about double digits appreciation still in parts of the country.
Right. I mean, you got to do everything you need to do to get yourself in the best painted picture, right? So, yes, if you've got some time on your hand before you start looking at homes or while you're looking at homes, we're going to analyze your credit, tell you what you need to do to get your score as high as possible so that your rate's the best, the cost of the best, your homeowner's insurance is the best, because all of those play into your credit score. And so what we'll do, and don't get mad at me if I call you up and say, hey, these things are what you need to do to fix your credit. I didn't report those to your credit report. Don't get mad at me. I'm just giving you the advice for free, by the way, the advice to what you need to do to get your score up so that we can put you into the best position to buy.
I want to chime in on that real quick. I actually did a post on my Instagram about things that people do without thinking about it, right? And one thing that I talked about just real quickly was car payments, right? We're in a position, or we're in this world where everything is exceedingly higher, and people are like, oh, I want the Navigator, I want the Lincoln. Well, you're also trying to buy a house, and what you should never do is never take out a car loan that is more than 10% of your gross monthly income, because that is going to have a direct effect on the budget of home that you can afford, right? We can pay off a small credit card, but we can't pay down a lease and help you qualify for a little bit of a higher price point. And there's a lot of our buyers sometimes where all those car loans are in one person's name. They're a dual income, but maybe it's in one of their names only, and it's affecting what they can truly qualify for because you got lopsided debt. So just when you're out there and you're renewing your lease, make sure you're cognizant of what that payment's going to do, whether you're looking for a house now or in the next 5 years.
Boy, especially, Stace, could you imagine you're buying a house and you got this heavy-duty car payment? If you're having trouble making it, yes, go ahead and maybe reevaluate that. Look, if you're trying to get an auto loan now with the Fed funds rates again, John, bumped up again Wednesday, the Federal Reserve. We're going to be talking about it sometime in the show today. It's not real exciting stuff other than it's reality on what's going on out there. We'll talk about the jobs market. We'll talk about the Fed funds meeting. But there's no doubt, if you have bad credit getting a house, that's a problem. If you have bad credit getting a car, now you're going to jam up your debt to income ratio. So it's so important, as we know, especially when we're working with those first-time home buyers, Stace. And I saw you had a couple new listings right in that first-time home buyer category. And again, get your credit straight so you got some extra money to work with. You can qualify for one of these cool programs.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that that's key for buyers right now is to educate themselves. Make sure they're aligned with a mortgage company, with Harvey or someone that can really guide them. These are your options. If you, like Becky said, you pay this small credit card down, now you qualify for more. But really, this is the time that you need to be educated more than ever.
You pulled up in a sweet ride, and I know, again, I'm not going to go there, but everyone wants a sweet ride. And again, we're in the automobile capital of the world. I get it. Get that nice car. But again, put it within your budget. Get the car afterwards. John, that's the thing. You can buy a house, debt to income ratio. You can buy a house with these high back end ratios. But if you can get a car after the fact, again, there might be a co-signer in your life. There might be a boyfriend or someone else who's not on the mortgage. Go get the car after you get the house.
Well, the number one thing is just making sure you're getting with your team and finding out what the best thing is. You know, if you know that you're looking for a home and that you need to get a new car, you got to call us up, talk to us about that. What's this going to do? I haven't told this story in a couple of years, but we've got. I had a buddy who was buying a home in Huntington Woods, and it was a domino effect. There was purchase after purchase after purchase. One person buying, selling, and everybody needed to close. Well, he went out and got a new. I'm going to call this guy Gary because he loves when I tell this story on the air. But he went out and he got a new car payment, but it was less than what his existing car payment. He's like, John, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is I need to update the credit report. I need to get rid of that old car payment, add the new the new car payment to the credit report so that it's reflecting properly, and I can run it through the underwriting engine and get everything approved. And that takes time. That's just not an instant thing that we can do overnight.
All righty. Hey, we're going to take all your calls here. 248-539-9797. We've got someone on the line. Keep it on the line there, Sean. When we come back, we'll help you buy your house. 248-539-9797. We'll be back. Thanks, Stacey. Feeling okay, hon?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show. We are broadcasting live here in the 97.1 studio, Jamie Samuelson studio, 9:15. If you're just joining us, again, the wind's going to pick up a little bit. We are in definitely a Michigan fall right now. Enjoy the weather if you're getting out there. I know a whole bunch of people are trying to sneak in another round of golf or get that boat. I actually got to get that out. I forgot. I'm getting that boat out of the water today.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, I know the one guy.
It's
one
been so
boat's
nice, though.
Oh my! One boat's out, and the other one's going to come today. I'm going to be like in a hurricane out there. Hey, we're taking your calls here. If you want to buy a house or list your house, Stacey Taylor, Quest Realty, she's in the house, and we're going to go to Sean out there. Sean, you got some first-time homebuyer questions. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Really good. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thanks for taking me. I'm actually walking down the first-time home buyers road. I've been on my job a little over a year now, making decent money. Never tried first time. Credit is about 640, 645-ish. I don't have debt, really, to be honest with you. I just purchased, I'm just got a car.
Of course you did. I know. That's why we went to. Every time we go to meet a guy who's buying a house, they just got a car. I know. It's good.
Yeah. Well, it's just I'm just trying to grow up, so to speak, and I'm wondering what steps must I take, or am I doing the right thing because I only had my car about 6 months. I haven't been late on any of the notes and nothing like that.
I'll let John Cole go on with that. John?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is just let us take a look at the scenario. I mean, are you doing the right thing? It sounds like it, yes. I mean, but we got to take a look at the credit. We got to take a look at the income and kind of get an idea of what you qualify for. You have an idea of where you want to live, how much you want to spend, what you want to have your monthly payment to be, but we have to take a look to see if those things are achievable. But it sounds like you're doing all the right things. What I'd really like to see you do, Sean, is get your score above 640, up to every credit scores go in 20 point buckets. So if you can get above 660, that's a little bit better. Above 680, that's even better. Above 700, and so on. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll do for you. Is we'll give you a call, pull the credit, analyze it, compare it to your income, take a look at that new car payment, and then get you an idea of what you're going to qualify for. Is that the price point that you kind of want to be in? Is it the payment realm that you want to be in? So we kind of look at all that stuff and make sure that you're educated about what you're going to be able to do.
Okay, sounds good.
But yeah, it sounds like you're doing everything the right way.
Becky, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I do. What I wanted to say to him is you're doing the right thing by even this conversation, right? You're curious. You're asking the right questions. You're making sure that you're not putting the cart before the horse. You're, working on, you need to have a little bit of a job time. You got a car loan. You're trying to establish that credit. And it all starts with these conversations and us getting involved before it's too late, right? So the fact that you're wanting to, to get that education, that is key, because getting pre-approved, like John said, it does start with us looking at the credit, but it's free. Right? We're going to look at it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to tell you, keep it status quo or do X, Y, Z that's going to take you to the next level. And that way we can establish that roadmap for you. And more importantly, that education piece, because like you said, you have no idea where to go and how to start. And you got the right people on the right line in the right room with you right now. And we'll reach out to you after the show and just reiterate that and get you hooked up with Stacy, too.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Sean. We appreciate that. 248-539-9797 if you want to join the show. Again, expertise service, Stace. It doesn't cost anything at the beginning at all. Nothing costs.
Absolutely.
It really never costs anything until you find that house. So we take someone like this and we'll work with that. We'll find out the funds to close. And again, you and I were talking about some of the down payment assistance programs. First-time home buyers, if they can get their hands on, call it $7,500, bing, that's a lot of money. Bingo, bammo, that's a great first start to get you in a house.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a game changer for a lot of buyers, And the last couple of years, again, those we wouldn't even consider in a multiple offer scenario that buyer that had down payment assistance. We knew that was going to take maybe another week. They were out of the running. So, again, this is their time. And it's, like you said, it's free money. It's out there. And, for anyone like Sean or anyone that's in that boat just starting out, the first step, talk to a reputable mortgage company, just like he's going to do. And then you know exactly what you can afford and, more importantly, what you're comfortable with. Then you find a realtor that is going to fight in your corner, that's willing to meet with you for a buyer consultation and really go over every step of the way.
I love the next 60 days. And we had a corporate meeting the other day. It was all online and everything with some great information here. Got like a 20-page packet here of a whole bunch of charts. Look, here's what the numbers say. 2022 is going to end up being a very, very strong year. 2023 might be a little bit off. The numbers are it's a guesstimate. None of the people that projected anything for 2022 have been correct. I don't like projecting things. You know what the reality is? You wake up in the morning and you got to live your life. And again, whatever the conditions are, they are. But it does show down the road, 2024, and 2025 are going to be really solid years. And there's some really great reasons why. Unemployment's at all-time lows. That's not going to change. Right now, unemployment all-time lows. We have families working. Also, there's not a lot of housing out there. The inventory problem, or the fact that we sort of looked the other way over the last 15 years, builders just weren't building to keep up with population growth. So the numbers say, if you're strong, buy a house. If you can get into the housing market, build the equity.
Absolutely. And, same, I meet with sellers every week that say, well, gosh, I lost my opportunity to get a good price. And you really didn't, not at all. I've got a couple listings that went pending within 3 or 4 days, multiple offers. It comes down to being priced properly, with a good marketing program, top-notch photography. And the sellers can still sell and sell for a good number. It really is a balanced market a lot of the time right now. And as a realtor, that excites me, because I can feel good about either party.
Yeah.
It's a win for everyone right now.
Yeah, and the houses that are flying off the market are the houses that are, I don't want to say turnkey, but pretty much turnkey, right?
You're 100% right.
They're still flying off the market. If you've got a house that you've put love and energy into, fix it up, and people can tell by just walking in the door, that house is going to go quick and you're going to have multiple offers. So, but if you've got a house that you kind of just treated like, a stepchild and didn't take real good care of it, and next thing you know, it needs a lot of love and care to it, then it's not going to go as quick. And there's going to be people that are going to underbid on your offer.
Well, there's the opportunity, Stace.
Yeah, exactly. That's the opportunity. And for some sellers, that they're okay with that. They don't want to do anything. And in that case, it comes down to the realtor really educating them on where they should be priced. And, if you're a little bit too high, you're going to sit and you're going to get less. It's last year you could put the house up for any amount, and probably get an offer, but not now.
All right.
If you're not right.
There's time to get that Christmas gift too, right? I mean, again, we're talking 60 days here. That leaves us
Absolutely.
right
Home
up
for Christmas.
Instead of wasting your money on other stuff. Becky, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say, to piggyback on what Stacey was saying, is absolutely right. You have to let your listing agent, your agent, drive the bus. And the reason why I'm going to drop the story real quick. I have a buyer. They put the offer in at $240, and I was like, okay, are we expecting, any issues? Because of where the house was located, I was concerned with the price point, even myself. And the buyer's agent said, I haven't seen any comps. We're just going to see how it rolls. And I was like, okay. So this house comes in at yeah, exactly. So it comes in, excuse me, at $225, right? It was a $240 purchase price. I was like, okay, this is what's happening. These are our options. And I reached out to all the agents, and I was like, is there any other data that would support a higher value? Because they were unwilling to negotiate. The seller's agent had nothing. And I said, okay, well, where were we derivating this price from? And she said, well, that's just what the sellers wanted. Okay.
Oh.
Well, that
God
didn't
bless
get us
them. I'm okay
anywhere.
with that.
Zillow told me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So this agent allowed the sellers to dictate a price that was never going to be achievable. So now here we are. All I needed was to renegotiate this price. And now the buyer is moving on to another property, and we already have an accepted offer, and we're good to go on a fully underwritten buyer. But now those sellers are stuck because they just said, well, if it's not 240, we're not doing it. Okay, well, it's not going to happen now because there's no data. There's absolutely no data. And even the price point that we got on this appraisal, it was a really good appraisal. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is for two things. One, you need to heed the advice of the professionals. We live this, we breathe this, we do this every day. And number two is you can't just, now you have this house that's going to be sitting there and you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because now you're not going to be able to sell the house at the price point that you thought because you're just living in a fantasy land that just didn't exist. So the professionals, we do this for a living, and there's a reason why price dictates it is what it is, because at the end of the day, you can't just make it up.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I just closed one, a home in Grand Blanc. I represented the buyer, and it was one that they started at way too high. And they did a couple price reductions. We came in with a decent offer, nice concessions, and it didn't appraise. It didn't even come close. And so I asked her, I said, can you send me the comparables that you used to come up with this price? Well, no, she didn't have any. And, then, she sent some over, but they were 2-3 miles away. And
boy.
I'm like, these don't work, So, I mean, Becky, just spot on with that. You have to be priced accordingly. And the market dictates price.
The market dictates.
And it's not the lender and it's not the appraiser. It is what it is sometimes. And, and we can identify that. Like, we know a good appraisal when we see it. And we also know when you can see some adjustments that can be made. And this was a really good appraisal, and they had no rebuttal. and now it is what it is. But the buyer, we acted very quickly, and we got her into another home, fast, actually, within a day, which is great, right? And it worked out better for her. But what is going to be yours is going to be yours. But there's a reason why you have these professionals in your corner, and Zillow is not. Don't be the WebMD, right?
Right.
All right, we got lots of arguments to why now might be the time to buy. That's right now. 60 days left, sort of to the end of the year, a little bit less than 60 days. You got Thanksgiving in there. You got the Christmas time. Is there an open opportunity? Well, we got an inverted yield curve. Rates lower to come. I don't know. Maybe next year, the year after that, maybe the year after that. I don't know. Maybe. Inventory is a severe, long problem. That's a huge problem. Demographics, hey. We've got families that want houses. We've got a lot of young people here. Michigan's a great place to live. I got a few reasons more when we come back. 248-539-9797. Keep it here.
I don't think you've plugged power.
All right, welcome back to the show, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. Again, you can call us live on the show, 248-539-9797. Harvey Free, John Cole with Capital Mortgage Funding, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. John is top 1% of all mortgage people. I've only been doing this for over 30 years. Stacy Taylor knows exactly what she's doing. So if you want to buy or sell a house, 248-539-9797. We'll go off to Brian. And thanks for calling in, Brian. Good morning. And if we can get you up there, welcome to our show. Oh, the guy's on the phone here. Hey, Brian, sit up. Nope, we're not going to you. Sit tight there. We'll continue the conversations. We got Becky Alley on the line, also top 1% of all originators. Becky, I know you got an event going on. Real quick, tell us what you got going on today.
Yeah, so I'm in Grosse-Ile today, working with some real estate agents, and, we've done like a 2-day kind of seminar, private kind of thing about changing your mindset, right? Because it's all about where you're at. And if, as professionals, we are not, filling our own bucket, right? We're going to be a bucket spiller, right? So you got to be a bucket filler, not a bucket spiller. So, we've really kind of been, diving into like what we can do to better ourselves, so in turn we can better our clients. And it's been awesome spending this kind of time with people. I love doing this kind of stuff. That's also why I love, we love reaching out to everyone on the radio waves, because I feel like we have such an amazing platform to just really motivate, and we are literally helping people build their legacies and help their dreams come true. And, so this is what I've been doing the last couple of days, and that's why I'm not in the studio. But I'll never miss a Saturday, because I love connecting with as many people as I can always. And you guys got a rock star with Stacy in the studio, so I knew it was going to be a good show, and I definitely was never going to miss that.
There you go. Well, always thanks for joining us. I saw your busy schedule. You're always busy talking mortgages nonstop and real estate and what's going on all across Michigan. And, of course, you're licensed in several other states, too, as John and I are also. We keep it exciting. We're going to have maybe our Florida connection is going to call in this morning. We're not sure. I don't think he called in yet. No? All right. Well, we're going to have a little report from really just south of Fort Myers, where Hurricane Ian had just hit, just to give people in Michigan. We have so many Michiganders, as we know, cruise down to Florida. They spend, some of the winters down there. A lot of the snowbirds are doing that. And really what's going on down there, just a perspective of what's going on with the cleanup. And he's just a little south of the action. But if we don't get that call, we'll definitely follow up with it next week. Tons of stuff going on out there. The inventory is really, I think, going to be the situation is the more and more we read. And Becky, thanks for inspiring people out there, because we had tons of information sent to us yesterday, and it was really it was all about leadership and sort of leading today's marketplace. And that's what it's going to take from the great real estate agents out there. Again, digging back in, really putting families and community first. John, that's really what it's all about. As last night we saw, hey, Stace, thanks for putting that post out there. Clarkston over Davidson in football. That's the kind of stuff, this high school football playoff and the rivalries and everything that's really fun and exciting, which makes and grows our great communities here in Michigan.
Right, and you're going to work with an agent and a mortgage lender that knows your area, so that they can tailor a home around your needs and wants. Do you want to live in an area where it's downtown is walkable, a downtown area is walkable, or do you want to live a little bit farther out in the sticks where you have to drive everywhere because you want the privacy? So you need to really, work with your team. We always keep saying that. Work with your team to make sure that you're expressing your needs and wants, so that we can make sure that we're putting you in the best position. What area would be the best for you? Obviously, Stacy's going to go out there and give you multiple areas to look at, so you can make decisions on your own. But without her knowing what you need and want, she's not going to be able to make great suggestions for you.
Right. And what I like to do when
Hold on, Stace. Let's get that mic up. Click that one there. There you go. All right, there you go. Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, we can't hear.
No.
Can you click that mic?
Yeah. While she's getting her mic up, to that point of what you guys were all saying, is right now, our, buyers, if you guys are out there listening, you cannot be afraid of what the interest rates are going to do, right? If you know that affordable housing and getting out of your current situation, you need to buy, you need to move, whatever the situation is, the interest rates are arbitrary, okay? They're not going to be here forever. So, but that house is. So that's why you secure the home, right? And then you refinance at your leisure for the next 5 years, because of how this market is not just one thing. This is going to be one of the better times to buy, I feel, between now and the next 5 years, because you're in control of your own destiny. Why leave that to anyone else if you know you can afford a payment? And you don't need to buy the $500,000 house, right? I know all of us at Capital Mortgage Funding, we're really big advocates on I'd rather live under my means than even at my means, because you always got to prepare for that rainy day no matter what.
Right. And backing up on what Becky just said, look at history. In 1980, 1982, 1984, rates were at 16, 18%. And then they came way, way down. And back then in 2000, we were at 9.25. Remember those days, Harv? I mean,
yep.
Yeah, it was, we were still writing mortgages. So you still have to be out there. Don't worry about the interest rate. Yes, you want to shop around and get the best interest rate you can, but you got to make sure that you're working with somebody who's going to take care of you now and down the road. And that's what we try to do. We try to, I take more phone calls now that result in no pay for the company, but that's okay because they're past clients calling and asking questions, making sure that they're doing the right thing and not missing out on anything. And now, I know you are too, Becky. Harvey is with the calls that we get right now. People that have done something in the last 5 years. Should I do anything right now? No. Stay in the mortgage that you're at right now. Don't touch it because we can't even come close.
The ways to gain wealth. One of them has always been real estate. And right now, the market needs some leadership. And I think that's the key is right now, we need more leaders out there. Becky, we got to share this vision because, the inventory issue, if they're going to go buy in 3 years, buy now. And then look where you're going to be at in 3 years from now. Built-in equity, an opportunity, again, if it's your first house, where Stace, we see that all the time too. The first-time home buyer, 2-3 years later, now they can use that equity to go ahead into the family home.
Right, and it's real money at that point. Even the last couple of years, we're not going to see that appreciation again, but we're still going to see strong appreciation year after year because just like Harvey said, it's the lack of inventory. It is still technically a seller's market. And so exactly, the first-time buyer, maybe they don't buy exactly their dream home, but it's better than rent. And in 3 years, when they sell that, now they're more prepared to buy that more forever home or that long-term family home. So they're in a perfect position at that point.
Well, to that point, too, people are staying at home a little bit longer. So when they are coming out of the gate, and I see this from experience, right? So I'm not just like putting a blanket on it. When people are coming out of the gate to buy those first-time homes, they are kind of looking for that forever home a little bit, right? They are hitting those higher price points. But if you need to do the 5-year home again to get where you need to be because you don't want to hear the people river dancing above you in your apartment, that's cool too. Everyone's situation is different and everyone's experience is different. You cannot compare your home buying experience and the rate and the payment to your cousins, brothers, sisters because they bought at a different time. Their financial situation was different. Everyone's situation is different and you cannot get caught up in the noise. And I want to kind of say something that John mentioned about, shopping around for the best rate. That's not even what you need to do right now because rates are going to be pretty even keeled across the board. What you need to be looking for is someone that you connect with, someone that you vibe with, someone that is going to give you best advice. And because this is not a market that you want to be sold in, right? If someone is asking you for $500 because you called them to get pre-approved, hang up the phone and move on because that person is not there to advise you. They're there to sell you. So you have to kind of hear those differences and make sure you're not getting caught up in a trap where someone's going to make you pay for something that is their job, which is just to really just make sure and educate you, make sure you're in a good position.
All right, well, taking your calls here, 248-539-9797. The Federal Reserve has been trying to cool the hot labor market, no doubt about that. Curb inflation, John, you're not a fan of them at all. The pandemic rates were just an unbelievable birthday wish. I think I might have did that a couple years ago. I'm like, gosh, I'm just wishing for lower rates. Well, folks, you got it. And we were on the airways really saying the same thing we're saying now, like, buy a house. Like, these rates aren't going to be this low forever. We were passionate. Stacey, you were passionate. You were working 20 hours a day for sure. I mean, maybe more than that. But it was a blip on the screen. When we look back, 10 years from now, if there's no other pandemics, we're going to go, oh my Lord, could you believe it? Rates were under 3%. It's just probably not going to happen again. But somewhere between
what
4
a
and
time to be alive.
right. But hey, Beck, how about between 4 and 6%? I mean, this is historically, if you look at the last 20, 30 years, 7.5 is about the average. So we're a little bit below that now.
I mean, honestly, like I have this last 2 weeks, I actually have taken a lot of refinances. Now, again, a refinance in this type of market isn't for everyone, but it is all situational. I mean, and the reality is that people that are seeing the opportunities, right? The key word in the beginning of the show was opportunity. There's always opportunity to save money. There's always an opportunity to get yourself and your family in a better position, and it's recognizing that, right? But also with the right professionals. And, some of these refinances that we're doing right now, I have a client, well, I don't know where they were the last 10 years, but they still have their 2006 interest rate. And guess what? We're saving them money because they're in a situation where we got to pay off a first and second, and now they're going to save $500 a month. Okay, great. And guess what? And there's going to be an opportunity in the next maybe 5 years for them to save even more money. So you have to just have the conversations. Don't sit on your hands. And also you have to have the ability to recognize bad advice when you hear it too.
Stacey, I want to talk about some of these unbelievable listings you got because the inventory's starting to pick up a little bit. 248-539-9797. You want to list your house? Give us a call. We'll come over there for free, do the complete market analysis, and educate you. Stacey, tell me a little bit about one or two of the listings you got now. I know you got a few.
So I've got a couple really good ones,
Yeah.
actually. I've got one in Oxford. It's on 2.5 acres, beautifully updated ranch, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Really, really well priced at $410,000. Fantastic, huge pole barn, like a designer pole barn.
Wow.
That fits the pandemic. I need some
Yes.
space. Keep going.
Yep, absolutely. And then I just listed one actually last night, an investment property in Clarkston. So maybe someone looking for a first time house wants a little equity or an investor. $210,000 in Clarkston.
That's a great to get the Clarkston,
Yeah.
the zip code out there. Okay, that's a great area. I saw it. I thought it was a pretty cool house for the money, and I know people that can really turn that into either an unbelievable home or a moneymaker. That's not a bad investment.
It's opportunity. That's our word.
That's our word of the day here. All right, more opportunity when you give us a call at 248-539-9797. We'll be back with all your calls. All righty, welcome back to the show. 9:45. If you're just joining us on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, I'm Harvey Freed, John Cole, Becky Alley. We're the mortgage people. Stacey Taylor, Quest Realty. She's a real estate agent with tons of information. If you're looking to buy or sell, definitely give us a phone call, 248-539-9797. Tom, you're on the line with us, and good morning. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a charming bungalow for sale in the Rail District of Birmingham. I don't know how familiar you are
Very,
with the
very.
area.
Got a Whistle Stop Cafe, baby. Yes.
Oh, well, this one's one block from from there in the Griffin Claw. It's on the corner of Bowers and Columbia.
Know it well.
And okay, well, anyway, there's two ways to go with this because it's on a corner lot that's 7,000 square feet. So it could function as, a tear down, and you can build a 3,300 square foot home, new one on it, or you can just enjoy it the way it is now because it's a really charming home. It's just like to get your opinion. Which way is a better way to go in this market?
Stace, I'll let you go first.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for calling in, Tom. I would say in this case, what I really, my best answer would come that, I would like to, sit down and look at the house, meet with you, talk about your timeline. And, once I see the house, we can have a couple different propositions of the best way to go. I would bring some market statistics for both directions. But it's a hard question to answer without actually seeing the house. But my gut instinct would definitely be to sell it as is and not tear it down, because once it's gone, it's gone. And that person that wanted to rehab it now lost that opportunity. But, an investor that is looking for land or tear downs, they're looking at homes, that are on the market, not just for vacant land. So, and there's ways that I can, myself or a good realtor can market it to appeal to people looking for vacant land or an investment home.
And if you sell it to an investor, you're typically going to get a lesser price than you would if you were going to sell it to somebody who's going to actually occupy it.
Yep.
Because they're looking to buy and make money. So they're trying to get the best deal they can on that house. Where you've got people out there, and if it is truly a charming home that close to Eaton Street, then you're talking about a first-time home buyer that might be able to pay top dollar for that home. So I agree with Stacy, Tom. Get her out there. Let her take a look at that home, because you might, and then you don't have to go through all the trouble of all the work of tearing it down and redoing anything, and all the money and headaches that come with that.
Tom, I was going to say the builders are there. The builders want to definitely. If you put a sign up, I think a couple of the builders. Is that what you're going to think?
No, I was just saying I would not be the one to tear it down. I actually have it listed, and it's you can find it on Zillow 1815 Bowers. If you want to just take a quick look at it.
What are the offers?
Pardon me?
What are the offers so far?
Well, there's been a couple of offers, and they've been in the high threes.
Okay.
I mean, here, though, I know there's a couple. All the builders there. There's about 3 or 4 builders. They've been knocking them down. And I know my buddy's house just sold. He's got one on the corner of Columbia, and he got a good amount of money for it. It's tough to build right now because the cost is so high. So they would probably look at building more of a 28 to 3,000 square foot home. And if you already have that kind of square footage, you got to get out there. I'm surprised anything like that's still in the market in that area, Stace.
I am as well, and I'll, when I'm done here, I'll jump on, I'll take a look at the information, see if I have any investors that might be interested. But I definitely think your best chance of maximizing proceeds would be to keep the house existing. I would not tear it down.
Well, and I think that's what he's planning on doing.
Is there value to the home buyer? Is there value to the home buyer and the potential value of the land?
Of course. It's location. So you're in a great area with that is walkable to what people want. So the number one thing I would do, like I said, I'm not a real estate agent. I don't pretend to be one, but I would say that somebody should have staged this home for you. I'm looking online at the pictures right now, and it's empty. Did you flip this home, Tom?
No, I'm not flipping. I've owned it for 5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I know that it's vacant now. But if I was an agent, I probably would have staged it and put some furniture in there so you can see how the spacing works out, so that your online pictures were a little bit more.
I like the house. I'm looking at it right now for the money. This isn't bad at all. Like, we stopped what we were doing over here doing the live radio show. Hey, Tom, thanks for the call. We'll call you afterwards.
Okay.
I appreciate
Thanks, Tom.
it. Really interesting.
That guy just got his plug. He
Then
got,
he-
he
yeah.
got his plug on.
All right.
If it doesn't sell this weekend,
Well, I'm not going to give the address again. John thought you said it's vacant. No, he's got a whole alarm system there with a lot of cameras, so don't go there. All right, 248-539-9797. Talk about the inventory. Boom. I just love it because, Stacey, there's a guy calls in the show, and we pull up that. I mean, I'm sort of shocked. In my head, before he was, as he was talking about, I thought it was going to be a lot older and not really up to date at all. That thing's looking pretty crisp.
I want to really dive into it and see why he hasn't gotten better offers, because it really comes down with any house, any market, it's price and promotion. If a house hasn't sold, those are the two reasons. Either it's improperly priced and it's not being promoted properly.
well, it's only 1,000 square feet too. So I mean, it's on a nice lot, but it's 1,000 square feet, and the taxes are going to be through the roof because it's Birmingham. So you have that person that's going to buy it. High threes, I think that's a pretty good price right now.
Location. I'm telling you what, they're getting over $3,000 a month for that area for 1,000 square feet with a basement. So there you go.
Right, you might think about renting it then, because you
don't know
might
why
make
he's
some
selling
money
it.
doing that.
All right. There's always an answer to someone's motivation. And that's the key is if you're a buyer out there, Stace, you got to figure out what the seller's motivation is. And in any situation.
Oh, exactly. And I started to, when my microphone wasn't working and I was talking away, I was actually going to say, especially buyers or sellers, I believe to start the relationship, you need to have a meeting with your realtor. It doesn't need to be when you first look at a house. You need to have them to your office. You sit down, they're going to ask you questions, find out what your motivation is. What are your pain points? And oftentimes, I'll have a buyer that says okay, I only want a ranch. And by the time we're done, I realize, well, you know what, a story and a half would also work, So we kind of talk through those things and we cast a wide net so that, opportunities they didn't even realize were there for them are. So, you want a good agent in your corner that's willing to do that instead of just react when you send them homes that you found on Zillow. And then same with sellers. Every seller has a pain point. There's a reason they are moving, and a good agent gets to the bottom of that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Stacey, I got a question for you. When people said that they only want a ranch, don't they really mean that they would like a first floor
They
master?
want first floor living.
Right.
Yeah.
First floor master, first floor living.
First floor laundry.
Yeah, first floor laundry, so that the second floor, it could be for guests.
100%. And I can't tell you how many times, I've had a buyer so laser focused and I'll just say, let's just go through this one too. Let's check it out. And guess what? They love it.
Right.
So, again, your realtor and your loan officer, they need to be your consultants and your advocates. It really is a team. From start to finish, we should all be working together.
Somebody just said that today.
Yeah,
Somebody
we're
really smart.
a couple thousand times. Sneak in your call, 248-539-9797. We got a few minutes left here. Part-time income because the holidays are around the corner. Your side hustle. I always like that, the side hustle. Hey, a lot of folks have them now. Make sure you understand what type of income you can use on that. John Kolb and Becky knows 2 years on the job showing that you've got this part-time income, a 2-year history of it. That works if it's W-2 income. 1099 income, folks, you're going to write that income off. That's going to be hard to use. So get with a qualified lender right away. 1099, self-employed people. Figure out what you qualify for. I always say this. Are you telling me if you're self-employed, your CPA doesn't look at you and say, hey, we're going to write off all this income. Otherwise, you're going to have a huge tax responsibility. You got to send a big check to the IRS. So that's what I tell self-employed people. You want to know how much you make? Well, tell me how much you're sending to the IRS every year. We can work backwards by looking at your tax returns for sure.
Yeah, it's you got to you got to prepare, and this is the time of year to do it before the year ends and before you start to file tax returns for the following year. So if you are self-employed, thinking about doing some sort of financing and need some advice on what you've done in previous years and what you should be doing this year, I mean, we're not accountants, but we can give you an idea of what income we can use based upon your history and what you might want to try to do for this coming 2022 tax year, so that we can get you into the home that you want.
Right on. Becky, I got one more thing, and then I'll go to you, and then we'll let Stacey wrap up. Homeowners insurance is up nearly 30% this year, as so is a whole bunch of things, gas and eggs and everything else in the world. So again, this debt-to-income ratio, things that we can do to maybe find some more income for you or go get that second job.
For sure. I mean, and what John was saying, when you're self-employed or commission or whatever it is, right, you got a unique situation. It's all about cash flow, okay? You can't buy a house with your gross profits, okay, because it doesn't mean anything, right? It's what your net cash flow is after all your deductions, what do you have left, right? That's what we're going to be able to work with, right? And everyone or most people know the tax codes favor those that are self-employed, right? You can write off a lot more than someone can with a W-2, right? When you have a W-2, it is what it is, right? It's naturally taken out versus if you're self-employed, you can kind of manipulate some numbers a little bit to show, so that way you don't have to write off as much on taxes. And that's fine, all in good, right? But start the conversations, come up with a game plan, because if you're 1099, if you're self-employed, you got that side hustle, right? There's very specific guidelines that you have to have X amount of time on those jobs or however we have to look at it, but start the conversations ahead of time and do not get caught off guard and do yourself a disservice, 1,000%.
Thanks for joining us, Beck. Always great stuff. Stacey Taylor, final thoughts, words.
Oh, final thoughts. My advice is don't be afraid of this market. That famous word opportunity is there. Reach out to me or another really qualified realtor. Have us in your corner. It is your biggest financial investment, and you need a professional that's going to treat it that way.
All righty, we gave you lots of reasons why today is the time to buy a house. That's right. The winter is a buyer's window, an opportunity out there to get your first house. We'll show you how to do it. If it's not in the next 60 days, start off your 2023 with some home ownership. All right, that wraps it up for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. I'm Harvey Freed. He's John Kolb. Stacey Taylor joined us. Becky Alley joined us. We'll catch you guys next Saturday. Call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Get that pre-approval letter. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.